Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is our live episode for Fireside Chat. That's the Localization Fireside channel. I'm honored to be with me today, Vale Marchenko. He's the CEO of VoxCube and the co-founder of VoxCube. Vale, welcome to the episode. Welcome to the conversation. Appreciate your time with us this morning. If you don't mind introducing yourself to the audience and let us know a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, thank you very much, Robin. And well, thank you very much. First of all, good morning. And thank you very much for meeting me and for having me on this Fire Chat podcast. So yeah, as you said, my name is Valentin Vale. In short, I'm a co-founder and the CEO of a localization AI-powered localization startup called VoxCube. Well, if speaking about my story, I'm originally from Russia, and now I live in Vienna for quite some time already. And I graduate actually. I don't have an extensive background in localization. I mean, it has not been this step-by-step route bringing me to where I am right now. But what I can say is that I've always been connected to language and to language industries. So I graduate in Chinese economy and sinology. So I've been working with China for quite some time, for almost 10 years of my life. I studied Chinese. I used to live in China. I studied in China. And I was bringing Chinese companies to the world and world companies to China, working on several consulting projects. So yeah, well, basically language has always been an inherent part of my life. Mm-hmm. And I suppose that's why I'm here right now in the localization industry. And that helped me a lot. This background helped me a lot to understand more about the localization and why it is actually needed for the world, and not only for the feature content world, but more so in a corporate environment and in a business environment, so to say.
Well, thank you, Vali, for this introduction. Very interesting background, and most people they share the same pretty much story. Like you were born in one language, you're doing business in different languages, you get exposed to other languages, and you see the opportunity of that interconnectivity between where you come from and where you're going to be going in the future in terms of transacting for a job, for economy, etc. And then people see the opportunity in building those connections using languages and using languages to uniquely connect with each other as a humanity. So my next question, Vale, is tell me a little bit more about VoxCube. I know you guys are located in Vienna. You have a very interesting technology. Haven't talked to you before a little bit about it. And I think from my understanding of the technology, I feel like there's a great potential for this going forward. And if you don't mind, in your own words, just describe what VoxCube does and where do you see the opportunity going forward?
Well, we think, or at least we hope, that there is something in the future for this technology, and we actually already see that there is something for the technology in the world, and especially in the localization industry. So what VoxCube does in a nutshell is leveraging the power of neural voiceover technologies, of speech synthesis models, and combining it with the beauty and with the comfortness of a human workflow, of a traditional localization workflow. Basically, VoxCube, as of today, VoxCube works as a service for providing audio and video localization services using and leveraging speech synthesis technology. So what we did is we created our own proprietary technology, and we're creating our custom voices in different languages, in different tonalities, and different characters. And we use them to to voiceover and to localize corporate content. Not only corporate, but corporate, as of today, corporate is our main segment. And when I speak about corporate, I mostly mean educational videos, product feature videos, and promo videos even sometimes. But we also work on blogging content. We also work on documentaries content. And we're looking forward to working with feature content. But today, well, there are some certain limitations to the technology itself, which again today limit us from going into the feature content world. But I think we'll be there eventually.
Thanks for this and for the introduction, and thanks for informing our audience about your organization. And this is what this channel is about, to be honest with you, is to lift up voices of young entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs who's got new ideas, brand new ideas into the industry, and bring them forward to the industry. Obviously, our industry has grown over the years. There's many suppliers in our industry. There's many companies providing services in our industry. The last statistics, I believe, is about over 18,000 companies in our industry globally providing services. And, you know, lots of voices in our industry. So it's pretty hard sometimes to differentiate or to get your voice heard from everything else that's going around us. So that's why I decided to start this channel, is to have these conversations with interesting ideas, interesting individuals that made a difference in the industry, either brand new entrepreneur or young entrepreneurs such as yourself, Valio, and others. And the conversation's always been around, for me at least, in the language industry, is about two items. One is the absolutely, from a humanity perspective, it's an absolutely needed service to connect people together. And this has been the case since the Babylon's days, since 10,000 years ago, and will always be here. I mean, I understand some of our colleagues in our industry are a bit afraid sometimes from technology, and they see technology coming, they run the other way. In some cases, not always. And they feel technology sometimes it brings a lot of, you know, negative connotation to it, because people feel afraid of technology. Sometimes it's going to take away their jobs. It's going to change the way the business runs. But I personally see an opportunity in technology. I feel technology enable us to do more with less, enable us to achieve that communication between various demographics at a more effective rate, and it allows more content to be transferred from one language to another. Because let's face it, currently, it doesn't matter if it's video or audio or whatever the content is, or written material, we are creating more and more every day. And the last year's statistics was around 30% increase in content creation worldwide. So in order for us to continue moving that content between various demographics group to be understood by various demographic groups, we definitely need to have either more and more translators coming into the picture and doing this manually, or we need to introduce technologies. And so technology is making us more efficient and allowing us to translate more, and allows the consumer to consume more languages in their own languages, more content in their own languages. So I feel you're on the right track. I feel like you have the right idea, because audio and multimedia videos are going to be the essence of communication. Hence, this channel is a video base, not podcast. We are going to start a stream parallel to this channel. So we're going to probably strip the audio out of these videos and put them on a podcast channel down the road. But video and communicating via visual means are, you know, one of the most effective way of communicating. I would say podcast is okay, and people are doing much more now with podcasts. But I do feel when you visually speak to somebody over a camera, preferably in face-to-face, that's the optimal means of communication. But, you know, sitting at a coffee table somewhere in a coffee shop means a lot more than doing communicating over video. So based on this, where do you see the market for you guys at VoxCube in terms of, you know, what you do, the video editing, the video transformation, or audio in this case too? So
So many thoughts running through my mind right now. Well, just reflecting on what you just said. First of all, thank you very much for providing us young folks with this platform. I mean, it is exactly, well, the industry is very fragmented, right? And there are a lot of different players. There are lots of different companies, and some of them are big ones, some of them are small ones, and everybody's trying to get their piece of cake. Well, it is, again, well, for a startup, it is very hard to make yourself heard, right, among those myriads of channels, among those myriads of voices coming from every platform, and this incentive, this platform that you provide to us is something, well, which is very hard to be overestimated. Thank you for that. Now reflecting on what you said about the industry itself. Well, yes, I mean, video is becoming the primary source of information, right? And it is not somewhere in the future. It is not hypothetical. It is like this today. So we consume on average, and like an average internet user is consuming 100 minutes of video every day, right? Or 80% of the global internet traffic is constituted by video. And videos create something like what 40% more, or to be exact, I don't actually remember, something like 48% more views and more conversions are created by video ads and not by text-based ads.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something to think about already, right? If you're a content creator. Then the next point is, if you're addressing a global market, you need to think, all right, what does this market, what is the language this market speaks, right? And if you just dig a bit deeper, there are 8 billion people in this world, and 6.5 billion don't speak English language. And as a non-English native myself, I can say that it is sometimes very hard to comprehend information in non-native language, especially when it comes to some specified content. If you're trying to learn a new skill, or if you try to just, well, grab some valuable information for you from the market. So if you combine those two, right, the answer is well, just obvious. You need to start speaking the language your audience does, right? And this is one takeaway. Then if we're speaking about the jobs, there are several ways to do this, right? So you can either go to a traditional voiceover agency, which is great, and I mean, you will get the perfect results. But as a startup, or even as a scale-up company, or as an influencer, man, it's pricey, right? And we know that by experience. We've been running the voiceover and dubbing localization agency ourselves, traditional one. It's pretty costly, and it's heavy in terms of processes. So not everyone can afford this.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can hire freelancers, and it will be cheaper. And there are great voices out there. There are great translators out there, but you need to pick those. You need to do your homework, and you need to find those people. You need to test them. You need to make quality assurance, right? And then you need to manage all of them, right? So they're coming. You need to manage a person who's doing the translation. You need to manage a person providing a voiceover. Then you need to QA those, and then you need to merge this all together. And again, this is a very heavyweight process. So another, like the third stream, would be to go and buy a subscription for a speech synthesis software, which is, I mean, understandable, and for some startups, for just to test their hypothesis on the open market, it's a good go. But let me tell you something, and you know that better than me. When it comes to technology, and especially for a novel technology, it takes not only great software, but also great skills behind that software, and great people behind that software to manage the output. Again, machine translation been around for what, 80 years already, but still you need to QA, and you need to edit the machine output. And same with the speech synthesis, right? So same, you need to make sure that the audio does not only sound human or human-like, you need to make it engaging. Otherwise, well, your content is worth nothing, right? So, and this brings us, well, this is actually the reason why we decided to, well, not only create software, but also provide services and create this market for, we call it a neural voice over artist, create this position or create this profession. Neural voice over artist is a person who is on the edge of several industries, which is a translation industry, which is a sound design industry, and a bit of programming or coding, right? So this person need to combine several skills. And when we're speaking about the technology and about those biases that technology will take over the world and will take our jobs, some of them, well, it might be true, but only partially true, and especially when it comes to our market, to our industry. Well, this technology, this speech synthesis technology, won't take any jobs, and actually will create more jobs.
It's about transformation, isn't it, Vali?
Yeah, it's just about due to the fact that this has not been translated before.
Correct.
This market has not existed before, right? So no one was translating corporate videos. I mean, someone did, but on the scale, no. And this is something novel. This is something that is only entering the market. So we think and we try to push this notion to the world that it is not harmful. It is not. You should not fear, but embrace this. Yeah, exactly. To embrace this and to catch this opportunity to learn your skills, to find yourself in this market, and to start offering new services and new opportunities for those who seek for those opportunities.
You know, I went on your website, and what impressed me is the and you talked about the human-like voices,
yeah,
synthetic human-like voices, and I've tried them on your voice on your website, and the voices really sounded like human-like. I've played around with synthetic voices before, and it sounded computerized. But what I've seen on your website from the samples I've been able to listen to, it's a very good improvement, and it's almost exact as a human. But I couldn't believe it was generated by a computer, and that's what interested me to carry on a conversation. And the quality of that technology that you're using, it's really impressive. I really liked it.
Thank you, first of all. And then because there is a human input to this, right? It is not pure machine output. Because if you take pure machine output, raw machine output, it will sound nice. It will sound human-like, because again, the voices that we create, they're not just, well, taken out from nowhere. They are based on the real voices of real voice talents, right? So how do you create the data set for the model? You record an artist, a voice talent, for 50 hours of an end recording, and it takes much longer to get those 50 end hours, right? And then you transform this into a model, and well, you align those recordings with the text, with the labeled according to phoneme alphabets and according to SSML tags and everything, right? You feed it into the machine, and then machine starts, well, basically learns how to speak, if I put it in very simple terms, and it will be able to provide you with a human-like output. But again, if you want to take it one step further, if you want to really sound it human and engaging, you need a human who can manage this, who can understand the context, who can well, fine-tune the output that way, so it will be aligned with the content and it will sound natural to this particular type of content which is being processed.
So it's pretty much what we've been talking about for a while, that autonomous machine doing this work, it doesn't matter what work it is in the language industry, there are some aspect of it, but for the most part, it is still a human in the middle, kind of an involvement. A human still involved in delivering the ultimate output or deliverable, whatever that is. You still need a human being involved. And going back to the original idea that, you know, machines going to take over, absolutely, they'll have a bigger and more roles in the industry, but not on the expense of sidelining the professionals who are actually either doing the engineering or doing the adaptation or doing the tweaking, if you will, or the programming of these machines, and trying to make sure that the output is correct. So as an entrepreneur, if you don't mind, and since the start, what was your major challenges or major challenge that you faced and you had to overcome in putting VoxCube together as an organization or as a company?
Oh, there were quite a few actually. Well, first of all, this understanding this that we still need, and not still need, it's a very harsh way to put it, but that we actually need a human behind the wheel. Because initially we were working on a software and we're thinking about launching a SaaS business. And while researching the market, we're talking to people, we're understanding the needs and understanding the limitations of the technology itself. We came to an understanding that, well, there is no way we can do it without a human. So we had to pivot even before we started, and that was one of the major challenges actually. And the biggest challenge, and which is yet to be overcome, is to put this notion and to create this notion that localization is needed, and that you actually need to speak the language your audience does, because this creates intimacy between you as a brand, you as a business, and your audience, right? Common knowledge and common sense in some ways says that English is a lingua franca, right? And well, we're speaking English, you and me right now, even though we're both not English natives, right? As I assumed. Yes. And English is predominant in this language environment. Mm-hmm. But if you want to achieve, if you want to attract more audience, if you want to create this, I would even say like an inclusive picture, an inclusive image of your brand, then you need to start speaking the language your audience does, because and there are some great numbers actually proving that. This can't read won't buy research. Mm-hmm. a great research, right. and it's a regular one, yeah, right?
I read that one.
So it's a yearly based research, and the last one says that 65% of global consumers prefer to receive content, like in product related content, in their own language, and to have localization, even if it's of a poor quality. Yeah. So, and this tells us something, right? So and I think that we came to that stage as a humanity, that we start shifting away from those globalization trends, and especially in our daily lives. I want brands to be speaking to me in my language, so I can really understand what they are about and what they're trying to bring to my plate. And if I see a brand taking this extra step, mm-hmm. that already hooks me, mm-hmm. right? So that already creates some common ground for me and this brand, and I will be willing to start exploring more, and I will be willing to take a further look into what this brand or what this business does, because I know they paid attention to me. Mm-hmm. I know they took this extra effort to engage me into their activities, and that's what pleases me as a consumer.
For sure. No, so, to validate your point, early in, anecdotally, and I know we're having a coffee, we're having a good chat here, but anecdotally, like in the early 2000s, and I won't name any names. There was a medical device company was based in North America, was trying to sell their products to Europe, and they had this idea that if you don't speak English, you can't use our product. So, but they managed somehow to sell their product because it was such a needed product to a country in Europe. And the country in Europe, obviously it's a medical product. They ended up misusing the product, and there was a huge issue with the way the information was being read as a user manual and the operator who's using these machines, and there ended up, some health concerns with the patients. So that resulted in a lawsuit that took a long time to rectify, and it was quite a big penalty. The second factor that is driving this, so either you translate because for health, for safety reasons, you need to translate, and you need to localize your content into those languages. And the country from the globe in general, from 20 years ago till now, we became a lot more interconnected. The internet usage has, I don't know, infinite, in terms of growth, how many internet users we have right now, how many mobile users we have right now, and everybody's got the world basically at their fingertip through their cell phones. Really, I mean, you can access anything you want now over your cell phone. So
we're cyborgs already. In that sense,
you're right. You're absolutely correct. So the notion that says, and I can't believe it nowadays, it doesn't matter what corner of the world you're in. You go on YouTube, you go on, try to find these content creators, and content creators are creating content. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of Africa, in the middle of India, in the middle of China, and connecting with others that they are in different parts of the world. So content creation is happening anywhere, everywhere, because we've minimized the barrier to entry to create content by giving people cell phones. By people now can buy a cell phone and point the cell phone to their face and create content. And those are the major content creators around the world that they're affecting how we work, how we live. We learn from each other. We learn from their experiences. And those content creators, in some cases, I don't know if you notice it, some content creators, to avoid this entire, I want to localize my content to to another language, they're not using words in some cases. They're just creating pictures and images or videos of things, how to, or etc. They're not using words anymore. In some cases, in a lot of cases, obviously words still being used, etc. But if you're to avoid that barrier that you just mentioned earlier, I would like to get a little bit more intimate with my audience by localizing my videos. And there was a case about a retail chain that doesn't use a lot of words in their user manual. I won't name them again.
Mm-hmm.
And they use pictures. They still localize it quite a bit. And they're one of the larger consumer of localization services. However, you're right. You're absolutely correct. Languages and language in general, if I speak 3 languages, obviously, and you speak more than one language, obviously. And for me, sometimes when I hear something in more than one language, I just feel more connected with the brand. You're right. You're absolutely correct. In a lot of cases, sometimes, if I don't know, we've all been there you bought a table, trying to put it together, you read the user manual, you can't do that. And you read it in English, and I read it in English, and I feel like there's something wrong with the English. I'm not understanding this correctly. But I go down to the other 2 languages that I speak, and I say, maybe I'm starting to put the picture together and start to put the table together. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And well, to continue this, so you mentioned this company, right? Who didn't localize their products, but they still managed to sell them. But that won't use anymore. That won't work anymore, because you said it was back in the beginning of 2000, right? It's 2023, and the competition is fierce, right? And for me as a consumer, be it a B2C consumer or a B2B consumer, right? Each solution has 3, 5, 10 different alternatives, and
Right.
if I'm choosing between those, and I see that one has localization and one talks to me and explains to me in my language so I can understand it, then I'll be more eager to explore this opportunity over that one which didn't do it.
Absolutely.
And when we're talking about actually, it's a funny thing. we've been doing those customer research interviews on basically a daily basis, and one of the guy we talked to called it the Bay Area state of mind, which is everyone assumes that everyone speaks English. And this was a localization manager, and he said that my job, my daily job, is to convince my employer that this Bay Area state of mind doesn't work anymore, that we need to localize, be it audio, video, I don't know, text, whatever, that we need to make this effort. And I will bring up one example, right? So it's like this one of the most popular models right now, especially for the product led companies, like the cloud software companies. So the model of marketing or of development is to drive your users higher up the value chain, up the value ladder, right? So once your customer, your end consumer, your end customer understands more about your product, this person starts advocating for this product, right? So I'm using a software. I understand how it works. I understand all the features, and it is very useful for me. And I start recommending it to other people. And this is a great opportunity for a company for this so to say, zero effort marketing. But in order to do so, you need to actually train your customer that way, so he or she understands how to use this product. And again, if I'm a non-English speaker, and if my English is poor, but I really like the product, I won't be able to climb this ladder chain, this value chain, if I don't receive information in my native language. So, well, you see this, right? So if I don't receive this, I won't advocate for the product, because I won't learn how to use it properly. And if I have a proper localization, again, be it a text localization, or be it an audio or video localization, or UX localization, you name it, right? If I start seeing that, then it's easier for me to comprehend what the product is about. So it's easier for me to climb up the value chain. So the more the chances are I will start advocating for this product. And I see this, well, even though this localization input is very, very, very tough and very, very hard to quantify, right? But I personally see this direct connection between localization and the impact it brings to your product.
Oh, absolutely. There are many studies out there, and I know we're coming up on time here, but there are many studies out there that connects localization return on investment to actual revenue for organizations. I mean, that doesn't, it's been validated over the years that the more you translate, the more revenue you achieve if you are in a B2C or B2B environment. So having said all this, for our audience, so they know a little bit about how to reach you, what are you looking for, how can our audience assist you? I'm assuming, like everybody else, you have a few challenges you'd like to resolve. One is perhaps finding customers, perhaps finding partners. And I find in our industry, this is one of the area in our industry that our industry shy away from talking about. I'm, like everybody else in our industry, we're all looking for customers, but nobody talks about that, right? So it's one of those subjects that no, we're doing well. We don't need customers. I find it really, really, I don't know what the word to use here, but I think let's be honest. We're all looking for revenue. We're all looking for customers, and I'm assuming you are too. So how people would reach you? I go to voxcube.com. I'm assuming. I'll put the information on the screen here for you, but is there any other way would you like to be reached?
Well, of course we're doing great, right? But we'll do even better if we have more customers. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a startup and it is a business. And yeah, well, it's voxcube.com. You have a book demo button. So just sign up, and well, there is a Calendly link. You can talk to me directly for 15-30 minutes, and I will explain everything there is about VoxCube, and I will explain why you need localization or why you don't need localization for that matter, or so we can just chat about localization issues. And yeah, I mean, voxcube.com or my LinkedIn profile, Valentin Marchenko, is the way to go.
Absolutely. I want to thank you,
shoot me a
Val,
message.
this morning for joining me. I really appreciate your time. It's an honor to have you with me, and let's stay in touch. Hopefully bring you again in a few months online here with us and update us on the progress of your organization, VoxCube. And any other thoughts or words before we hang up?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And guys, start speaking the language your audience does.
Thank you, Val. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for having you on.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.